I sometimes have to wonder if the laws that legislators come up with are intentionally vague, or if sometimes the people making them are just that ignorant. A new gun law being proposed in Maryland makes me pose that exact question, because the way it's written, it would also make it illegal to give your kid a computer. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into this one right off the bat, this video is brought to you by Blackout Coffee Company. Blackout Coffee is a firm supporter of veterans, soldiers overseas, and your rights. Every purchase on their site through my link helps support my channel, and every purchase of their partner roasts helps to support some of your favorite gun rights groups. They are honestly some of my favorite coffee, and everything is roasted fresh to order, so only the best coffee shows up at your door. So to check them out and help support the channel, go to blackoutcoffee.com/libertydoll. Ghost guns are one of the current big hits when it comes to talk of gun control, probably because there's no real way to control them. Anyone can download plans, anyone can print one, and so anyone can own one. Lawmakers would have you believe that this is the reason behind the crime waves many cities have been seeing, claiming things like a 300% increase in ghost guns being recovered in crimes. But what they're not telling you is that 300% is like a jump from 1 to 3. The numbers are pretty minuscule in comparison. Anyway, Prince George County in Maryland says this is a big deal and a big problem, particularly among kids. Now, it's already illegal to hand a kid a gun for anything other than hunting or target shooting, and ghost guns are also illegal there. But one county legislator wants to make it all even illegaler. County Council member Crystal Oriata has written up a new bill that not only makes it illegal to give a kid a gun, of course, but would also make it illegal to give them the components or the technology needed to print said gun. We have this technology and our laws have to catch up with it, Oriata told her local news. We're seeing, 1, them getting their hands on the gun already manufactured, but then also we're seeing people sharing the data and the technology. And so we just want to make sure that our laws stay on top of what's happening in the community. See that phrase, data and technology? Now, you could say that she doesn't mean it that way, but she also said it at a press conference. This legislation is focused on making sure we create language around sharing the materials for printing 3D guns and making sure if any adult or someone has the ability or the coding or anything for manufacturing 3D guns, that we're making it clear that you cannot share that with a minor and that's punishable as well. Anything for the manufacture, she says. Never mind that thanks to Defense Distributed, governments can't legally ban the plans for 3D printed guns, at least not yet. But this law makes us ask, what technology and components are needed to 3D print a gun? Well, a 3D printer for starters. Many kids use these at schools and libraries now, or might even have them at home. They're popular in STEM labs and engineering classes. I've seen kids use them to make Pokemon figures and D&D minis. Also, the metal or plastic used to do the actual printing would become an illegal component. And how would someone download and use the plans? Well, that includes a computer, a tool in every home and classroom in the country, in every library, in some cafes, a tool that is required by schools often as much as textbooks now. And yet, computers are in the bill's definition of what they call additive manufacturing, and thus you wouldn't be allowed to give, sell, rent, or lend a computer to a minor. Now, there are provisions for if you're a parent or teacher, but that is how 99% of kids will have access to a computer, which tells us 2 things. First, that this bill won't do anything, and second, that they know full well that this would include actually banning computers. But one thing legislators are great at is creating slippery slopes. Because this isn't codified into state law, Prince George County can only make it a misdemeanor punishable by a $1,000 fine and 6 months in jail for owning a computer or 3D printer while around a child. But Oriata says that she hopes state lawmakers are inspired by the proposal and that it's really about giving cops and prosecutors more tools to go after people with the data and tools to create 3D printed weapons. More than that, she says, we have to start recognizing the tools and data themselves as a weapon. The state has addressed ghost guns, she says, but what we did not see, and where we wanted to step in, is really focusing on sharing the data, making that clear that if you share any part of the technology for any parts or any facets of a weapon, that it would be against the law. So there you have it, folks. Just like the ATF, technology and components are now weapons. Hopefully this one will be dead on arrival. I'm not sure if I'm surprised by it or not. On one hand, I am surprised that someone would actually write this out and be so dumb as to actually propose it. And on the other, it's kind of par for the course. So this will be a fun one to watch either way. That is it for this video. You guys know the drill for all of the algorithm things. Not gonna spell them out because I do have an upset toddler downstairs. So as always, thanks for tuning in and happy shooting.